You've probably heard the phrase, you never get a second chance at a first impression, and that's going to be true whether you're meeting someone face to face or in one of your videos. And recent studies show that we only have seconds before a viewer decides whether to watch our content or click away. And that's kind of a lot of pressure. So that means those first few things we say, even just the first few sentences, are really important. And we see a lot of people struggling with this, and it's kind of sad, right? So these people are putting time and effort into creating videos and doing marketing, and they have a service that people want. They could be growing their email list, they could be getting clients and customers, but no one really knows about them because they're clicking away because of that first impression. You didn't really hit it or nail it. And that's why in today's video, we're gonna walk you through exactly what to say to not only capture your viewer's attention, but also to keep it using one of our 4 proven video intro attention grabbers.
There it is. That was a mouthful. Yes, these are good. These, I like to think of them as the 4x4, and we're going to break this whole thing down for you. So welcome to the Marketing Mindset and Moolah Show. My name is Tristan. This is Sabrina. We are partners in all things, including marriage, and we love sharing these resources, tips, and insights with you. In fact, I'd love to give you this right here, right now. That's the resource link, satorimethod.com/103, because this is episode number 3.
Yep.
So you can grab a copy of this.
And this is totally free.
Free for 3. 3 for free.
Really, really, really excellent. We put a lot of time and thought into it. You're going to really get a lot out of it.
And it's taken years to get comfortable on video. And Sabrina is so right. That initial opening hook. And we're going to walk you through this today. And sometimes I think people don't do video because they're stumped by this part. They feel so uncomfortable starting the video, whether it's a pre-record or a live, that they actually never do it. And we don't want that to be your experience. We used to be really bad at video. I think we still have moments, but we used to just be cardboard, man, and we just didn't have flow. We didn't know what a hook was. And so we've learned a thing or two, and we're going to dive into that today. And again, the Marketing Mindset and Moolah Show, the reason we put this thing together is because we want to help you truly be able to build a wildly profitable love-based business. It's perfect for coaches. If you're in health, wellness, fitness, it really doesn't matter just so long for us that you want to help improve the quality of lives on this beautiful planet. So we're here to serve you today. Here we go.
Have you ever felt like this? I don't know how to start my video. I don't know what to say. I feel so awkward. I'm going to film it 500 times and still not be happy with it. Right? These days, it's so important, those first few sentences, and those are oftentimes the one that we feel the most awkward with. It's so important to capture the people's attention and then to keep it. But how do you do that? And that's really what we're going to talk about today. But first, I wanted to give you some statistics.
I love stats.
So studies show, this is sad and funny. Studies show that in 2020, the average human being's attention is 8 seconds. Now that's dropped in the past couple of years from 12 seconds. Even 12, like not too good, but now we're at 8. And just for reference, a goldfish has the attention span of 9 seconds. So if you're marketing to goldfish, you've got a step ahead of everybody else.
What is going on in our brains? Information overload, I think.
Now, another statistic, and this came from Facebook Insights, is that someone's watching your video on a desktop. They're likely to spend 2.5 seconds watching before they make that decision.
Gone.
If on a mobile device, 1.7 seconds.
Damn.
So that's how crucial it is. But one of the most powerful ways to connect with someone, especially right now with everything that happened in the world, people are so used to engaging on video, is through video, using video marketing. I just want to say, think about anyone that you've learned from in the past year, or that you've watched, or that you've been studying, or you bought a program from, or you went through a challenge. How did they deliver it to you? They connected with you through a video, whether it's live or pre-recorded. Even your pre-recordeds will have that live energy embedded in them. It's so powerful. I mean, think about it right now. You're anywhere in the world, and we're here in the world, and we're having this relationship, and we're having this connection, and we're spending this time together, whether it's in real time together or my time now and your time later. If you're not using video, I really hope that you'll start using it, and that you'll use one of the 4 hooks we're going to share with you today to start them.
So there are 4 main hooks that we're going to be going through. We'll just tell you what they are real quick. So the first one is a question, and I'm sure you're familiar with people starting their videos with a question. So we'll dive into why that's important. The second one is a story. Stories are so engaging. We'll talk to you about how you use the right story in the right way. And then there's a stat. Sabrina just gave a statistic. It's interesting information. It helps give proof. We'll dive into why stats are so useful. And then a bold statement. So you got a question, you've got a story, you got a stat and a statement. All right, so let's dig into those. Let's start with questions.
Okay.
Why should we use questions?
Yeah, why should you use questions? Well, one thing that a question does, and we're going to tell you the brain science behind all 4 of these techniques, is that when you ask someone a question, whether they want to or not, you totally disengage their brain from what they were thinking about, and their brain must think about what you just asked. It's like that old saying, don't think of monkeys. And the person's like, not thinking of monkeys makes me think of monkeys. Or if you say, what color is your car? They start thinking about it. So asking someone a question really helps them to pay attention because we seek closure with it. We seek to answer. So that's one way. And it gets someone's attention not just in the now. Well, I'll tell more about that after you go.
Well, I think there's some really smart stuff inside this freebie that you're getting, and I'm actually going to refer to it because there's something, there's a mental reflex known as instinctive elaboration, which is basically what you said. When a question is asked, it takes over the brain's thought process. You have to close that loop. You have to complete that thought. You have to, do I do that? Do I think that?
Yeah.
And we've got some examples for you that can be very helpful to kick off your video. So why don't we give a couple of examples?
Okay.
One of them is, do you ever wonder?
Yeah.
Right? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder why some people fill in the blank with what your conversation topic is going to be about?
Right. And you're asking a question that you think that your right fit client, your perfect client has maybe already been asking in their head, or they should be.
Yes.
Right. So if you have a program that helps with back pain, you might say, have you ever been working in the yard and then all of a sudden you get one of those glitches and you're like, oh no, not again. So you already spoke to them. And if somebody's like, nope, never happens, they can leave. And that's great. It makes room for more people. But the other thing I was going to say about the question, and this is fascinating to that geeky side of me that loves stuff like this. There are studies that show the question that you ask someone today, the brain takes it and it actually will affect their behavior for months to come. And I want to tell you a few studies because this is really powerful in how we say when you create your content, it's not about right now, it's about the replays. Well, it's about even more than that. This study, it was behavioral scientists have found that just by asking people a future decision significantly increases this decision phenomenon known as mere measurement effect. And this study was done in 1993 with 40,000 participants. So that's a decent amount to get some data.
Good feedback.
And they asked these people if they were going to purchase a new car within the next 6 months. Right? So these people were selling cars. Are you going to purchase a car within the next 6 months? By asking that question over the 6 months, the chance that those people would buy increased by 35%. What? Then they did one where they asked people if they intended to donate blood, and that raised the rate by 8.6%. And have you ever gotten those calls? This was in, I think, the Applied Psychology magazine where they say, are you planning to vote? Who are you voting for? Well, I always thought, it's none of your business. And like, why are they calling and asking me? Well, now I know why. It's because by getting a call and asking you if you're going to vote, your chances of voting increased by 25% that person will then go and vote. And if you ask them, are you voting for Mr. So-and-so? The chances of them voting
the
and
level
voting
of influence
for them
is insane.
So what a great way to start your video is using that question hook. And did you see how short they were?
Well, let me give you a couple more.
Sure.
And these are just starters, by the way. You've got to put your core content in here. But do you ever get frustrated when? That's a good one because that pulls on the thing that people are fed up with, right? So you want to go to where the conversation in them is happening. So do you ever wonder how? And then you got to put in the right information. You got to know your ideal client. Here's another couple.
Do you ever get frustrated trying to figure out how to start your videos?
There you go. Have you been thinking, feeling, wishing, wanting Fill in the blank. All this stuff's in this cheat sheet guidebook for you, okay? We've given you the link. We're going to give it to you again real quick right here, right now, just so that nobody misses out on this. There it is. Jot that down.
All right, now we're going to move into the second type of hook statement, which is the story
Yes,
hook.
stories are great.
Okay, stories are so awesome for so many reasons. Maybe one of my favorite reasons is because I've done some study on memory. And let's say it's a grocery store list and you have 12 things that you have to remember, or let's say 5. Since that attention span is less than a goldfish, we better go with 5.
Yeah.
And like you're trying to remember, but if it was made into a story, if that grocery list was a story, you can remember it easily because you put it in one packet of information.
It's a container.
So anytime you want to recall something, you make a story out of it. When I had to memorize the 50 states and the capital of each state, I remember sitting down with my dad in elementary school and he came up with a story for each state. Okay, so Tristan, what's the capital of Arkansas?
No idea.
He has no idea, but I do because I have a story. Arkansas, Little Rock.
Okay.
Arkansas, Little Rock.
That's very clever.
Yeah, so I had a story. And so it lets you give an entire packet of information to people in a story. Even if it's something, I'll go back to the same example I used in the question about back healing. If your story is about how you hurt your back and how it affected your life and how you bounce back from it, even if it's just a couple of sentences, that was a lot of information, more than if you just tried to make sentences out of it, but the story and how you felt and how you went through. And always, always the story is their story. It's your viewer's story. And if they don't have the same problem that you're talking about in your story, it's not for them. This really helps you get that right fit client.
And here's something important when you're telling a story. You don't start with, once upon a time, I was 6 years old, and da-da-da. Like, you don't need the backstory. You can jump right into the crisis.
The backstory.
You can jump into the heated moment. I was lying on the floor of my martial arts school. It was the day that they carried me out. I was carried out, da-da-da. What happened to this guy? And it wasn't for, 5 years before I could actually start walking and teaching again. That's a concise little paragraph that is a hook, right? And in today's video, we'll get into that. I'm going to teach you what I did, etc. But I hooked you with a story, and you want the story to be relatable to what they're going through. So you can use different stories. You just need to transition them together. So you just have to get creative with your storytelling and see, how is this going to lead to an outcome that they desire? If you can tie the story together, and the hookier it is in the beginning, the better. But you got to tie it to an outcome. Or you can have a little curiosity. You can have a very curious start to the story. And then they're wondering, well, that's interesting. What happened? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you, that's how they hook us in. Think of television. They start the new series, the new episode,
Next
the
week's
movie.
episode.
The guy's falling out of the air. Whack! Whoa, what just happened? I've got to know, right?
Yeah.
That's a hook.
Even news. You were playing around with news. At 7 o'clock, they're telling you about news at 11. And, they say, the car fell off the I-35 bridge and only 2 people remain standing. News at 11. You're like, I gotta know.
Gotta know.
And especially when it's those crazy things like elephant running wild in Westlake.
What?
I gotta see.
It's the shocking stories get you.
And when you think about like your story, it's not your story. It's just a blink of your story. It's a scene of your story.
Oh.
These are just that hopefully cause some emotion, because stories are the things that elicit the most emotion, whether it's a romance or fear or tension or conflict or a similar suffering. So let's say if I was going to tell a story that I've told before about a situation that happened to me, I could say, I'm so happy I got that noose from around my neck and got away. But it never would have happened without that, my first experience of intuition. If I was selling an intuition program, that would be totally unexpected from someone selling a program on intuition. What does she mean she got the noose from around her neck?
That's how you tie them together.
Yeah.
Exactly. Awesome. All right, so that's the second one. All right, so number 1, what we've covered is the question. Now we just jumped into using story. Let's talk about those statistics. Well, statistically speaking, this is where Tristan reads his notes about statistics.
Well, one thing with statistics, while you look at your notes, is there are some people that are very logical thinkers.
Right.
Like they say buyers. There's emotional buyers. I think I might be one.
And there are logical buyers.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'm one of those.
And so make your content for different types of brains or include different pieces.
States of brain.
You know, a statistic makes me feel like if they when I know that, okay, video content marketing has increased businesses bottom line by 1,200% in the last year. When I hear that, I now have confidence in putting my time into doing video content.
Yep.
So it gives you a lot of confidence and makes you feel like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. Or it makes you feel like, ooh, I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm in the minority here.
We need proof to be able to trust taking the next step. And so a statistic really helps the logical brain know, okay, look, this is the results. This is, what has happened for these people. You can evaluate the risk and you can make a decision, a confident decision. We really need to be able to give proof out the gate, especially in today's world, because there's so many shenanigans on and offline.
Yep.
There's so much noise, digital noise. There's all kinds of people making all kinds of declarations. How do we know if they're true or not?
Yep.
Well, you might have been burned. You might feel jaded. So you can bring some statistical data to the equation. You can knock that fear out and they can be like, okay, wait, well, maybe you haven't got them all the way yet, but you have their attention. And that's the phase we're in. We want to grab the attention. Mm-hmm. So use your statistics for that.
Yep. We've even worked with some of our clients and said, let's say that they're more in the holistic healing space. Like when COVID first hit and we certify a lot of people to teach Qigong, we said, go and find the studies that people are doing right now on energy work, Qigong and Tai Chi, and what are the results of those studies on viruses, including COVID.
Right.
Bam! We found it, and boy, we started using that in our marketing. So, use the Google.
Use the Google.
Google that stuff, and you can find a lot of studies. I'm just going to tell you a few stats that we pulled.
Okay.
80% of online marketers use video content. So when somebody just hears that, that's going to be like, wow, 87%, it must be working, right? If you read something that said 5% use video content, you could try to spin it and think, oh, I won't have much competition. But if you're smart, you'll think, oh, no one must be watching them, right? So you kind of want to go where the people are. 51% of marketing professionals worldwide name video as the type of content with the best ROI, return on investment. So I'm always looking for stats to back what we experience in our own business. And what we experience is video has just done everything for our business.
Blew up our
But it's
business.
like, don't just take our word for it, and we can find all these other statistics to back it up.
So this is just the beginning phase of the video. It's just that first words out your mouth that can grab someone's attention, and hopefully we can pull them in, we can capture it, and we can move forward. And we've got one more that can really be useful to you.
So we got a question.
We got a question.
We got
a story.
Story.
And we've got a statistic or statistics. Build that logical proof, right? A statement, a bold statement.
Yeah.
Sometimes a shocker, right? Something that will draw people either to you, and sometimes it might even polarize them away from you. That's not a bad thing, because we have shared beliefs and common values. And when you make a bold statement about something you believe, which is really an opinion, it's not necessarily a fact yet, but it's a strong opinion that you hold. When you make that statement with energy and with presence, people can decide whether or not they're like you or they bond with you. And if they do like what you said, you just drew them in, right? Ah, he's like me.
Yeah.
Oh, she believes what I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
And it can be anything. Like we were laughing yesterday. Here's one. Blondes have more fun. Right? So you say that, and there's the people that go, yeah, they do. And they stick around to listen. But then there's the people that go, well, I don't think so. But why?
I have a lot of fun. I'm a redhead.
I'm going to stick around just to see what kind of crap you say. So sometimes they'll stick around to see if you can help change their mind. But it might be a statement like, Qigong is the #1 way to heal from chronic disease.
Really? Prove it.
It shows confidence. It might cause a division, like, well, no, I think you should see a different type of doctor, but it is a statement that doesn't have an inflection at the end. Now, with these 4 types of hooks, of course, it could be a slight combination. Qigong is the #1 way to heal from chronic disease. Have you tried it?
You can start blending. Yep. Statistics show, the latest study shows, recent evidence-based research shows, you see how you can start marrying these together? Let me tell you a little story. We just took all 4 and married them together. So the better you get at one, then you'll find that you start merging another and another and another. You don't have to merge all 4, but it's that initial opening that means everything.
So we're going to review real quick. So if you want to capture their attention from the start in those first few seconds, for all of us with goldfish attention span or less, you're going to ask the question, tell the story, give them a statistics, or say a bold statement. And show them a picture of that free resource. Not that one, but the real picture. Because I want you to see Tristan trying to capture my attention. I wonder what he's going to use to capture my attention. Were you going to use a question?
In that picture? No, I think I was just going to have a temper tantrum. What are you doing? Awesome. How are you guys enjoying this? Are we having fun? I'm seeing some really beautiful stuff coming through. Bonnie says statistical support. What feels intuitively right to peeps? Great technique, says Anne. Thank you. This is awesome, says Barb. Thank you, my dear. It's always so lovely to see you. Love, love, love that you stopped by today. Beth and Doug are loving the storytelling. Yep. All right, cool. We're rocking now. Let's keep on rocking in the free world. Okay. Shall we?
Yep. So if you're looking to grow your business with video marketing and you know that you have to get that hook in to capture their attention right away with a question or statement or a story or a statistic, great. You capture their attention. Good, good, good. Now they're listening. It's like you went,
for a second.
Hey, and they went, what?
What?
Well, then what? What do you say next? How do you keep their attention?
So very important. So there are 4 mini things to do here. 4 mini, short, it's quick, it's concise, and it gets into your content once you go through these 4. The first thing you've got to do is the WIIFM. You know what that is, right? What's in it for me? You want to be thinking that at all times, that the viewer is saying to themselves, why should I listen to you? Why is this relevant to me? What will this do for me? That's the WIIFM. And you want to, as soon as you pull them in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you, that's right after the hook. The hook just got their attention. Now you have to say, what is the outcome or the transformation that this mini training, this how-to video will provide to them? And as you're starting to share that, make sure you pepper it with benefits. So when you talk about an outcome, let's say, so in today's video, I'm going to show you the #1 way that I stretch my back early in the morning that gives me a pain-free day all day. Okay, now I just painted a picture of an outcome, and now I would love to drop in some little benefits as to that. Because if you're anything like me, you've had days where you woke up really sore and you just felt like you were dragging your feet and you felt exhausted by the middle of the day. When you do this technique, you will be, filled with energy and have pep in your step and carefree all day long. Something about how it not only gets them out of pain, but it gives them a benefit. Make sense?
His time is so precious. That's the one thing people say, I just ran out of time. I don't have time. So in the beginning of your videos, clearly stating, in this video, I'm going to share 1, 2, 3 with you so you can la-di-da. Then they're like, and sometimes you can even say, in this 5-minute video, in this short video, you can even put a time example in
so they know
there.
what to expect. That's really the key. What should I expect from this? What will I get from this?
Right.
That's essential. So you drop that benefit statement in right away, and then you got to keep on moving. Who are you?
Yep.
Intro yourself.
Yeah, you want to assume, unless you're like inside of a private group where people have purchased your program and these are videos inside of there, that's really not what we're talking about. We're talking about where you're out getting fresh faces and fresh leads, new clients, new customers, building your list. They don't know who you are, even though maybe across the bottom it said Sabrina and Tristan. They don't know. So you want to introduce yourself, but you still have to be thinking that they're thinking, what's in it for me, right? So introduce yourself in a way that is not boring. Introduce yourself in a way that is only talking about how you can help them and or how you have helped others like them.
Right.
So most likely that doesn't include that you graduated from here or you're certified in this or you're certified in that. It's short of sentence as you can that drops some cred, almost like sneaking it into a sentence, some credibility, and says, we do this and we've been helping people accomplish this and we've gotten this result for the past 10 years. And then you move right on, right? You can weave more of who you are and why they should care and all of your accomplishments into the content part of the video.
Exactly, yeah.
But you just want, all you're trying to do right in that beginning is for the people who don't know you to go, oh, okay, they know what they're talking about.
In addition to the different, so that's the link for, we're working through some of this today for you in the show. There's a section in here that talks about how to do a nice succinct intro so it's not too long, and it's a little template that really encapsulates what Sabrina just shared with you, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. It's sort of almost like a fill in the blank, so you can identify not only who you help, but how you help them, and maybe even with what tool or technique or method you help them. So you'll be able to get that from that particular link that's on the page. Cool.
Which is really perfect, because after you have hooked them in with one of the 4 hooking styles and told them the benefit of why they should listen to you and quickly introduced yourself, that's the perfect time. Like the third thing you want to do is to either give them the action you want them to take, a call to action, or at least seed one. So you could say, and I'm going to be giving prizes away later in this video, so make sure you stick around. Or you can say, here's my free resource that goes along with today's training. Or you can say, I've got a big sale going on my I'm giving away free strategy sessions. Whatever it is, whatever your call to action is for that particular video, that's a great place to drop it, because some people won't be able to stay for the whole video. But they may be able to get your free gift. They may be able to join your email. They may be able to reach out to you in some way, which is the whole point, right? You're doing this to grow your list, to make connections, to get clients and customers.
Example. Do you ever feel like you get stumped when you start a video? You just don't know what to say. You're drawing blanks. Well, we totally can relate. That's why in today's video, we're going to teach you our 4x4. It's a way that you know exactly what to say right out the gate that hooks people's attention. But not only does it hook their attention, it keeps their attention so they'll stay listening to the whole video. They'll probably sign up for your email list, and certainly they're going to be able to follow up with your special offer that you have. In fact, today we have a resource for you. And there it is. It's satorimethod.com/103. Go ahead and download that in case you have to cut out early. We don't want you to miss everything in the show. Is packed into that resource for you. Boom.
Bam.
So basically covered. And I would clean that up probably a little bit. That was just off the fly. But that's how you deliver, right? So we did 1, 2, 3, and now we're doing the keep the attention. Let's just refresh what we've done. We've said the benefit, we've said who we are, and we dropped our CTA. There's one last thing that we have to do, the 4th thing. Take it away, baby.
For some of you, I'm reading your comments in the chat. The call to action can even be, and I've got a private Facebook group where I do something else. Let me know in the chat. It's anything you want to do, as bold or as soft as you want. But the 4th thing you do is the transitional phrase. It's how you move someone from the intro into the content. It's usually pretty short. A lot of times it's, okay, let's get going. Or let's dive into those 4 hooks. Or all right, rock stars, here we go.
Yeah, and I like that it has energy, because that energy carries them into the next section. So say it with some excitement. Have a happy expression on your face. Maybe speed it up a little bit. Okay, we ready? Turn off all those distractions. Let's go. Right? Make it fun and jump right into your awesome content.
Yep.
Cool.
That's very cool. So I wanted to give you this example. We were walking the dogs yesterday morning and just cracking up at this visual that we were both imagining in our heads. And I said, I guess a good way to explain what we're teaching in this training is there's people here on the side of the road and they sell peaches from Fredericksburg. But they said that you're at a stoplight and there's a guy on the side of the road and he fishes in the lakes and he sells fish. And we were
This is
saying
funny.
he should, and the cars are stopped at the stoplight, and he, how would he capture their attention? How would he hook them? He would go like, fresh fish, fresh
with a sign,
fish,
with a sign, right?
With a sign. That's what he should be doing. But what we see that a lot of people would be doing is the whole intro thing first, standing at the side of the road. The drivers are going by just like those people are scrolling through Facebook and social media at 1.7 seconds per post, right? And he's going like,
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. I live down the street. I grew up with a dad. He passed away and he loved to fish, and I fish every day thinking about him. And my goal in life is to feed fresh fish to everyone. And
"Wow, there goes the car." And the first car at the stoplight, you get like 45 seconds, but the one at the end, you only have a few seconds. So the capture their attention is fresh fish, fresh fish.
It's insane.
2 for 1. Then the cars that are like, I'd like some fresh fish, they pull over. Pulling over is getting them to watch for more than those few seconds. And then he can say, I just caught these today over there. They're fresh water. They're this, they're that. And I have a leak-proof bag that they can put on ice in your car so your car won't stink. And I only have 10 more minutes to be out here, so I'm actually doing 2 for 1.
Oh,
right?
Special offer. Is there going to be some FOMO?
That's the call to action.
And I only have 3 left.
Right? So you're trying to get them to pull over. So that initial hook is your fresh fish, not your story, not your intro. They're probably going to pretend they're on their phone. I've done that, right? When the people are coming down.
Not interested.
When you're sitting at the car and they're talking, just all of a sudden I'm just
But that's what's happening on social media. So we live in a drive-by universe. And, the beginning of your video, if someone is scrolling slow enough that your video loads or that you've got the words going along, and they're paying attention, that's the moment. That's the moment we've been talking about in this episode. That's the fresh fish, right? That's, I guess, a bold statement. You're making a bold statement. I've got fresh fish. Yeah. Do you want some?
Freshest fish.
Do you have really unfresh fish at your house? Well, I've got fresh fish, and in this little spot over here, you can get some.
Yeah. Do your children think that fish live in cans, like tuna fish?
Well,
no.
Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, so you hook them in. Let's do a quick recap. Hook is the number one thing that we're doing here.
4 types.
We have 4 types of hooks. We've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a story.
Yep.
We've got a statistic or a bold statement. So boom, that's your split second stuff. Don't make that long. That's like the title of your post. Fish. It's pretty short. It's the title of your post.
Do you like fresh fish?
It's the title of your video.
Is your fish fresh?
It's the title of your video. It's the title of your post. It's the title. It's the thumbnail card of your video. Yeah. It's like that's that initial hook. It's sort of curiosity. It doesn't carry you all the way.
And you're delivering on the promise of the title of your video or the thumbnail.
Yeah, that and the promise really comes in from that initial hook. It gets carried into what are the benefits? Why should I be listening? Why should I care? The WIIFM. Yep. You got to drop that guy in right now.
Yep.
What's in it for me? And then paint some pictures as quickly. That's concise. That's also known as a headline. Right? Sometimes a headline is like it's short and it has what's called a subheadline. That's to carry that initial hook a little further, like, you got my attention. All right, why? And now that desire, that interest starts building a little bit more. Boom, we introduce who we are. Why should we listen to you? Why should we trust you?
How can we help you?
And then, yes, your perspective is, here's how I can help someone just like you, right? And then, boom, you'll drop that. Hey, and here's a sample of fresh fish. Here's a little bit of fresh fish for you to try it out. Okay? And then and then you transition into, let me give you a taste. Let me show you what this is. Let me help you learn how to fish today. And that's it. You've taken them in. You've given them this incredible experience of content, and you're building an audience. Give them opportunities to get onto your email list so that you can follow up with them in the future. And of course, at some point, we're going to take them to the land of the sale. That's to be on another episode.
Right. So, but you know now how to capture and keep their attention so you can then start showing them what you know. And if you didn't grab the free resource, if you're watching this on our blog, there's a yellow button below this video that you can click to get it. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, the link is in the description. And we love hearing from you. We
Oh,
love
and
knowing what you think.
If you're listening on a podcast,
Yeah.
SatoriMethod.com/103.
If you would like our page, subscribe to our channel, do all the things that help us grow so we can get this information to more people.
So if you love helping people, you will learn this. If you love having a profitable business, you will learn this. If you love practicing the art of communicating because you really want to serve up the good stuff that you got, you will learn how to do this. We've just broken down the formula in the simplest steps for you. They really work if you work them. You've got to practice though. You've got to pretend that you're going live if you're not comfortable yet.
Yeah.
Create a phony group and start practicing. Go outside and just walk around in your garden and talk as if you're doing a video. You know, I used to do this I called it talking to trees or driving in the car. Just practice. Hey, do you ever wonder? Boom, and then just kind of go through the formula. All you need to see in your mind's eye is the bullets. Okay, what are my 4 options? Got it. Then I got to do 4 things. All right, I got to talk about the benefit. I got to say who I am, drop my CTA, and transition. All right, let's get started. And just start doing it, and you'll become natural. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't get stumped too much anymore because we've trained ourselves in the gift of gab. You have to practice talking comfortably and flowing. It's just like anything. You get fluent with your marketing conversation. It can help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And the more you do it, the more that you really do speak to your right fit client.
Yes.
When you look, the camera is no longer the camera, it really is your tribe and your people. And so you feel very comfortable because you're talking about something you care about.
It's a beautiful thing. Now, if you enjoyed this episode and you'd like more of all of this that we've got coming out, there are a lot of things on the docket. This is where the docket is where you, here it is right here, showbiz. So SatoriMethod.com/showbiz is where you go to get notifications of the new topics that we'll be covering. Mm-hmm. We will let you know when we're doing them live in case you have a question, you want to participate in the actual live session, how to get the different replays. We're doing our very best to have a free resource every time we do an episode. So that means that, hey, these things, our gift to you, use them to grow your business. We want to help you. We've been doing this for a very long time. We've had brick and mortar for decades. We've been online for well over 10 years now. We've built a beautiful business and a brand. We've helped a lot of people, including the influencers out there. We get to rub elbows with some of the greatest marketers of all time. And we're here sharing. I'm rubbing on one of the greatest marketers of all time. We're sharing this because we want to pay it forward. We struggled so much in the beginning. There were many times we almost threw in the towel. There were many times that the technology just seemed like impossible. We didn't get it at all. Marketing just seemed yucky. And now it's totally fun. It's so much love. It's an extension of our spiritual practice. And it just feels really good to help people with this. So enjoy it.
And these, reading the chat, what we said today, this marketing, of course, it's brilliant for video marketing, but it's also the same whether you're writing an email or writing on a website. You want to get their attention and hook. You can use the same thing if you're not making videos.
So how do we feel about today's session? That's how you feel? I think you feel it from the beginning.
Look at the camera, get a shot.
That's how we feel.
It's so hard to get a thumbnail with us both like eyes open and smiling.
All right, thanks everybody. We're gonna dance it out.
All the way?
All the way. Come on, you gotta dance. Oh, you're going all the way with the chairs out of the shot too. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. You make it fun for us, knowing that you're here.
Fresh fish!
Fresh fish!
I go like this. Fresh fish!
Not very good at that. Look, you dressed me up today. Felt pretty colorful. Bye, y'all.